Welcome to Classical Japanese in 5 minutes. This is a short series of lectures on classical Japanese language. First, let us line up or confirm a few very basic features on this learning subject. Classical Japanese. In Japanese, it is normally referred as KOBUN, old writing. In English, a literary language, which is a language in writing. As a type of language that is no longer being practically used today. However, we have a huge amount of writing survived from hundreds of years ago, presenting the rich cultural tradition of Japan, which everyone wants to know more. At the same time, one can find many old Japanese used in contemporary language, such as book titles, movie titles, music lyrics, proverbs, etc. Only when you know classical Japanese, you become better understand what those expressions mean and the right nuance hiding behind it. What are the basic features of classical Japanese? First, the easy part. Classical Japanese is still Japanese. Therefore, basic language structures, such as a sentence structure, the use of basic particles, and even more than half of the vocabulary are the exactly same between classical and contemporary. On the other hand, a classical Japanese reader has to face the fact that most core words, although following a similar grammatical principle, they are basing on a different rule of conjugation. Sometimes it could be rather complicated. How should one approach to this subject? The suggestion is first to understand and to remember the core rules of the language. I particularly refer to the core rules. If one tries to list up all the rules of classical Japanese, as it was a language used in many hundreds of years by people from different locations with a different education, that some rules may be even conflict to each other. A learner should concentrate on the basic rules. Second, a learner should try to read real pieces of classical works. There's no need for a learner to carry out a creative writing, but rather just concentrate on existing articles. Third, there are many tools available to help you to learn, starting from textbooks, dictionaries, and related writings. It is possible to gain many support. Facing a classical writing, a reader can always take a pause, go back to check a dictionary, and slowly and carefully analyze the structure of a given sentence. The goal of the learning, first, to aware a classical writing. One should be able to understand the structure and the rule which is applied. Second, one has to be able to convert classical Japanese writing to contemporary Japanese, carefully, word by word. As a native Japanese speaker, this is not such a big task. However, for learners who are using this set of a lecture, it becomes a big challenge. Eventually, the learning of classical Japanese is a great way to confirm your knowledge of contemporary Japanese. To master the basic rule of classical Japanese, a learner will become much more comfortable with the contemporary Japanese. With one of my colleagues from Korea, together we created KOBUN Online, a website with online drills on this learning subject. Please play the first 2 drills to find out classical Japanese and contemporary writings, titles, and proverbs. See you at the next lecture.